Alrighty then. Apparently, the Detroit Pistons sign and trade Jalen Duren. Talk has picked back up. Kind of been out the loop a little bit. Well, the Pistons kind of been out the loop with the with the you know NFL kind of kicking back off. Um, I really ain't getting too much into it. I don't really care for preseason, but I'm excited. I'm excited for the real thing to start. Yeah, I'm excited for week 1 to start. In addition to final rosters and all that stuff, and also if you haven't heard about the Cosmo Detroit, you should check it out. I'm excited to see that as well too. Most of the Lions games sold out at the Cosmo. Don't know what the Cosmo is. If I remember, I explained it at the end of the video. These 3 trade packages could finally pry Jalen Duren away from the Pistons. This is fanside.com. Also, Christopher Klein wrote it. Detroit and Duren are running out of time, so I'm going to read it. I haven't read it yet, but I got another one. Somebody DM me. I'm going to get to that. So when I looked up that, I found this. Never truly found that one, but I know I can find it. So Detroit Pistons Jalen Duren are gridlocked into contract negotiations to the point where there are rumors that of Duren, a 22-year-old All-NBA center, taking the qualifying options in order to get to unrestricted free agency next summer. That sounds insane, but clearly Duren's postseason meltdown impacted how Detroit feels about him. And I'm going to speak from his perspective real quick. To keep it a beam, I'm going to speak from his perspective. He feels that the Detroit Pistons don't fuck with him like that. Now, I've tied that knot together. I think the final nail in that coffin that I really came to that conclusion to feel strong was Isaiah Stewart's reaction of saying that he prayed to get out of Detroit. And when he first got here, I think this is what, this is why being transparent and honest with people today, it's not of the same. It doesn't mean the same as it did yesterday. And when he got to Detroit, he told Trajan Langdon, told him he's a trade candidate. He gave him transparency so he wouldn't get blindsided. So when you hear people get blindsided via trade, when you hear people get blindsided, in general, it's the same as telling them sometimes telling them up front what the deal is, what the truth is. It just lingers. So now, somebody stuck in their feelings. Now they become a problem. Now they got a funky ass attitude. They never get over it. See, it's a lot of times it's not a right answer. We program to think, oh, right or wrong, good or bad. Sometimes there could be 2 good answers. Somebody could be good and great. 2 bad. You might took a job and be like, man, it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. And you're like, damn, I should have took that other job. That job could have been worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we took this route to Kentucky. Damn, we should have took the other route. So you took the other route, you might not have made it. So, we program to think it's either you get with this or you get with that. Remember that song about Black Sheep? But in general, sometimes it ain't a wrong answer. Sometimes both are the right answer. Sometimes it's a great one, a great answer. Sometimes it's a good answer. Sometimes it's a very bad answer. Sometimes it's just a bad. This is, just get your mind out of the programming of, the other option would have been better, right? If the cap in perception between Duren and Pistons proves too vast, a sign and trade, well, it has to be. The sign and trade could help Duren get a long-term stability he wants while allowing Detroit to recoup assets and mix up the recipe a bit, which it's already mixed. You know what I'm saying? Bringing John Collins and, it seemed to be a belief that Isaiah Joe is going to come off the bench and Duncan Robinson is going to start. I don't believe that to be true. This is not the most likely resolution, but it's worth keeping in mind the possibility just in case Duren's relationship with organization deteriorates even further. And why I say that about Duren, Robinson and what's brother name? Robinson and Isaiah Joe. I say that because I think Isaiah Joe gonna start and that's gonna remix it. So if you're gonna remix the recipe, you might as well go ahead. If you feel like you gotta fully remix it, you might as well remix. And also it's rumors that the Pistons believe that Asar Thompson is the second best player on the team, not Duren. So that's also kind of, if they gonna give him $150, they like, nigga, really could give you too much more than him. So they got this first trade, Alperen Sengun, 2020 first round pick from Phoenix, and we get Jalen. They get Jalen Duren. We get the Alperen Sengun, a first round pick for Phoenix. I like this trade. Duren is not a great defender, neither Sengun, but one thing I get Duren has the framework to be a great defender. Duren could be everything that Sengun is now and more. And that's the disconnect right here. Duren's ability to get up and down the floor, his ability to jump high, kind of figure out the durability issue. You see the framework and the way he posts up, the way he passed, the way he kind of got the little jump shot from 10 to 15 foot. I mean, he could do everything. He possibly could do everything Sengun can do. And Sengun is limited because he doesn't have the athletic ability of Jalen Duren. Okay. So, I mean, and also for Houston, this can shake their locker room up a little bit because a lot of those guys feel a certain type of way. Me personally, I wouldn't have no problem doing it if I couldn't come to terms with Duren. I wouldn't have no problem doing it. The problem with that is like, man, you got to really get Sengun to try to play some defense. And I mean, Thompson, at this point, whoever you eventually get to replace Duncan Robinson, Isaiah Joe at that 2 guard, they got to defend at a high level. And then you need John Collins to defend at a high level. So, you remember that. Timberwolves trade package for Duren. Jalen, Duren, Ron Hollins. The Pistons get Gobert, Divinchenko, Terrence Shannon Jr. I like Terrence Shannon Jr. This is an absolutely no-go. I would never do this trade. I'm not giving up Ron for Divinchenko, who just blew out his Achilles. I like Terrence Shannon Jr., but let's see his rationale behind it. The Wolves just went on a team buying trip to Paris with Rudy Gobert. Foot in the bill. Odds are the front office does not want to overhaul the roster. Gobert offensive haul has tanked in recent years. Duren is will set better screens, give LaMelo an outlet near the rim. Honestly, for Detroit, it's a chance to pair Rudy Gobert with Asar Thompson on defense. The Pistons might just end up with the number 1 defense in the NBA, given their size and physicality across the board. Gobert can also benefit from Kate Cunningham pick and roll skills, while Terrence Shannon is a shot in the arm wing creator that Detroit desperately needs. Divinchenko, salary filler, yes, but getting him his birds rights next summer in free agency is not a bad bit. So, I mean, from that standpoint of view, and Gobert have 1 more year on $38 million deal. So you better have a contingency plan to keep him around, or you better have a plan to be able to fill that void. You know what? Now, kind of reading that deal, I would consider it. I would consider it. Kind of the way he rationalized it, or made it make sense. Excuse me. I wouldn't mind. Let's see what Gobert do last year. Trying to pull up his stats. He's pulling up a little slow. I don't know why. But we come back to that. So a Warriors trade package for Duren. Porzingis, Moody, Drake Powell, 29 first-round pick from Golden State. That might be worth something, to be honest. It's a 3-team deal. So the Pistons get, Porzingis, Moody, Powell, 29 first pick. Brooklyn get Jimmy Butler, 27 first-round pick. The Warriors get Duren, Michael Porter Jr., Ben Sharp. I mean, honestly, the Warriors win this trade. Honestly, they get Duren and Michael Porter Jr. I wouldn't do this trade if I'm the Detroit Pistons. That 2029 pick is very attractive, but I wouldn't do that trade. I'm good on that. You can't count on Porzingis to stay healthy for nothing. But going back to Gobert, he gave you 11 and a half, 1.7 assists last year in 76 games. He'll be 34 at some point next season. So he give you about 1.6 blocks. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's something that I would consider. But that was the last trade offer on that one. Hold on. So let's see if we can pull up. So here, okay, this is the one that was sent to me, and I'm gonna tell you who sent it. Give me 1 second. I want to give him his credit while I'm sitting here. Hold on. E-Will sent this to me, so I appreciate it. So projected blockbuster trade since Kevin Durant and Duren to the Cavaliers. So I mean, all right, I misread that wrong in my mind, but all right, let's see. So the Cavaliers received Kevin Durant and Jalen Duren via sign and trade, 4 years, $176 million contract for Duren. The Pistons received Jared Allen, Max Strus, a 2028 first-round draft pick in 3 seconds. I mean, how does that help us? Respectfully, how does that help us? And we lose Duncan Robinson to the Clippers. Like the Rockets get James Harden, Sam Merrill on the 2031. How does this help us? I want to know how this help us. I don't get how this help. I mean, Jared Allen is cool. I mean, I don't like this deal. You don't get the first or second best player in this trade. Yeah, no, this is just something that I don't like. This is the worst one in my opinion. So the Cavs end up with Duren and fucking Kevin Durant, even though he on his last leg. Nah, sorry, I'm not feeling it. I can't get jiggy with this. So no, but hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live, drop video. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Peace.